everyone, and welcome to ABC All About Canada, a public service program that informs, educates, and inspires our fellow kababayans with important concerns happening in the Philippine-Canadian community. My name is Rovi Canono. I'm your host, and today, our topic, very interesting, the top 10 questions on parent-grandparent sponsorship or PGP sponsorship. And our guest for today is a regulated Canadian immigration consultant. Let's all welcome Joe Balbiran, ABAN.
Magandang umaga, Rovi. Thank you so much for the privilege to be invited and to join you in your show. So actually, I'm also very excited to share this information about the parents sponsorship dahil last Friday lang nilabas nila na by May 21st,
yes,
yun yung may draw na naman. So I was really surprised.
Yeah, maganda mailabas natin kaagad tong episode na to para makahabol sila kung kaya humabol. Pero bago
kaya very timely.
Yeah, Joe, bago yun, siguro gusto malaman nila, taga saan ka ba sa Canada?
Okay, that's a good question dahil kahit ibang immigration officer nagtatanong, as I receive a call, you are a representative, you are in Alberta side of Lloydminster, why your client is in Saskatchewan side of Lloydminster. So I said, Lloydminster is the only border city of Canada. So we are blessed to be in the best side of Alberta and Saskatchewan. So sometime in 2014, if there's like the 4 in 4 out, so those that cannot be permanent in Alberta, just transfer in one highway, nag-divide, ando na sa Saskatchewan. So yeah, my business is in Alberta side, in Lloydminster. Lalakad lang ko ng 10 steps, nasa Saskatchewan na ako.
Very nice. So siguro yung mga kababayan din natin, curious sila, taga saan ka ba sa Pilipinas?
Okay, so siguro sa accent ko pa lang nasabi nila palagi, Bisaya ka no? Kasi sobrang tigas ng Tagalog ko, ng English ko. Though sabi na Bisaya ano din sa English, but I am from Mindanao, Balingasag, Misamis Oriental. So sabi na saan ba yung Balingasag? Actually mga 1 hour away from Cagayan de Oro. Yun yung main capital of Misamis Oriental. So yun yung parang most common. So Balingasag, Misamis Oriental po ako.
Oo. Na-remember ko yung lugar mo kasi meron din akong client na dyan, from your town, Balingasag. Sabi ko, okay to Kaya nare-report ko. Okay, so welcome and good to see you, Joe Balbin, ABAN, RCIC sa ating program. Pasok na tayo sa ating napakagandang topic, the top 10 questions on parent-grandparent sponsorship. Pero ito muna, bago tayo pumasok sa number 1. Ano ba itong parent-grandparent sponsorship at saka ano ba yung announcement na May 21?
Okay, that's a very good question dahil when they released the news last Friday, there's a lot that parang natuwa, meron ding ibang na frustrate dahil this parents-grandparents sponsorship, there is what they call a submission of the interest to sponsor. So, nangyari lang yan in 2020. Hindi na naulit yan. So, maraming natuwa dahil nung ka-submit sila ng 2020 na interest to sponsor, 4 years actually na nasa draw sila. Pero yung hindi nakasubmit, parang unfair din sa kanila. Dahil kung naging PR sila in 2021, so that's a chance na sana nila makasabit ng interest to sponsor, but dahil never nag-open ulit ng interest to sponsor na naman, kaya maghintay sila possibly next year.
Alright, so ito mga kababayan, particularly ang tinatarget nitong episode na to, yung mga nasa Canada na gustong isponsoran ang kanilang magulang or lolo-lola na nasa Pilipinas, tama?
Tama.
Alright.
Yes, tama. Though there are parents already or in Canada as a visitor, right? So they can also be sponsored.
Perfect. Okay, so papasok tayo sa ating topic, sa ating 10 questions, top 10 questions. Okay na ba? Pwede na ako magtanong?
Okay. Yeah, sure po.
Okay, so first question, when and how to submit itong sinasabi mong interest to sponsor?
Okay. Yeah, so this first question actually is parang sasabi kong it's too late dahil nga in 2020 lang ito nangyari and never nangyari sa 21, 22, 23, and 24. But I'm just gonna give some quick information about sa when. So yun nga, nung open sila to accept those interest to sponsor, that was in October 13 to November 2nd. So that is like 3 weeks, window. So parang hindi magunahan. So you can, kahit pa the last day ka mag-submit, kung nahuli ka sa balita, so in the 3 weeks window, mag-close na yung acceptance sila. And then they did a draw in January 2021 kasi that's October to November 2020. So isusort din nila kung sino yung nagdoble ng padala ng mga pangalan nila dahil isip, parang loto ito, the more tickets you buy, the more chances of winning. So they will gonna be reviewing sino yung nagduplicate para fair din sa lahat. Okay? So every sponsor can send one interest to sponsor. So as I mentioned, this was only in 2020, but it happened in 2015, 2016, 17, 18, and dahil nga sa pandemic, noong 2020, nag-stop na sila. So the first draw was in January 2021, and then dahil it's less than 50% that was invited ang nagpadala ng application nila, kaya nag-draw na naman sila in September 2021 ng another 30,000 ng sponsors. So, and then in 2022, October, nag-draw na naman sila in the same pool noong 2020. Okay, so we thought, sa 23, baka mag-accept na naman sila ng interest sponsor, but no, they still use in October 2023, the same pool 2022. So, frustrated na may iba. The more ngayong May, it's still the same 2020 pool ang gagamitin nila. So, last night kasi na-busy din ako, saka ko pala na-send ng notification yung mga clients ko na kung sino lang yung nakasabit ng 2020 ang mag-expect in their inbox by May 21st in 2 weeks for their invitation to submit an application. So, the interest to sponsor is like, hey Canada, I'm interested to sponsor my parents and grandparents to be permanent resident. So that is not yet an application. Okay, so you are expressing your interest that you're interested to sponsor. You have to wait for the invitation to apply, and yun yung matatawag natin na permanent resident application once my invitation na. Okay, so it is very like happy sa ibaan but frustrating at the same time dahil 4 years na itong nagagamit ang 2020 pool.
So itong May 20 na to, anong deadline ito? Itong sinasabi na May 20, pwede pang humabol yung iba?
Okay. Yes, that's a good din kasi nga last night nung nag-email ako sa mga clients ko na ako nagsabit ng interest to sponsor nila, sinali ko na rin. Yeah, kasi for 4 or 5 years every now and then may tumatawag na joke, gusto kong sponsoran yung nanay ko, sabi ko sarado ngayon, sulat mo ng pangalan mo para ako mag-open sila, I let you know. So nasali yung hindi pa nakasubmit sa 2020, but sinabihan ko doon na if you haven't submitted your interest to sponsor in 2020, we'll wait next year. But siyempre saka-excited siguro pagbasa sa email na parents and parents, reply ka agad, please submit my parents' name. So I said, hindi kasi yung nagbasa, no? But anyway, so yun nga, it is already too late to submit a new interest to sponsor. Only in 2020 lang talaga. Kaya yung sa posting ng IRCC sa social media nila, marami din doon naglabas ng mga saloobin na it's really frustrating na they've been waiting for 4 or 5 years dahil eligible na sila. Hindi pa sila makasabit ng interest to sponsor. So I would also say, I'm not really sure anong reason ng IRCC. Siguro kulang sila sa funding to do that interest to sponsor ulit. And then of course, it takes time din to sort sino yung nag-duplicate, right? But we don't really know the exact reason, but it's kind of like frustrating sa iba. Kasi honestly, with me, I have list of clients that I submitted interest to sponsor. Isa, wala na yung tatay niya. Meron akong 2 na they change their mind. Parang ayaw na lang sa Canada. Sobrang matanda na rin na gusto na lang sa home country nila. So, and then others din, nag-change yung financial status nila. Hindi na eligible. So, if those that are no longer interested and be invited, sayang lang yung spot na yun. Right? Yeah.
So siguro,
hopefully by next year, meron ng bago.
So siguro mga kababayan, para hindi naman kayo mawalan ng pag-asa, baka maglabas ang IRCC soon, no, ng another deadline to submit the letter of or the interest to sponsor. Kaya nga ito, yung susunod natin mga questions para lang mag-guide kayo, handa, maging ready kayo. Pag dumating yung deadline, i-apply na natin kaagad. Tama? Alright. So,
yes, tama.
Yung sa number 1 mo, how to submit ba?
Okay. Yeah. So may kulang pa pala no sa ano. Yeah, how to submit. So, yeah, it is online submission. In the second question about the information needed, but those that, because online na ever since 2020, online submission na, I think it's 2015 nag-start na online, but the permanent resident application mandatory na rin yung online, 2022 online submission, the permanent residency. So what are how about yung sa mga 2020 mga sponsor na hindi marunong sa technology o di kaya mentally or physically disabled, so they can call or email IRCC and request na if they will prefer Braille large font or paper submission to accommodate them.
Or get in touch with an RCIC para tulungan sila, no?
Yes, isa din yan. Kasi at least may ka-share sa stress, di ba? Na kailangan pa ba mag-research and everything.
True.
So yun sabi ko, hati tayo pambili sa Tylenol.
So siguro, dun sa how to submit the interest to sponsor, papasok na rin siguro yung number 2, what to include in the interest to sponsor. So number 2 na tayo.
Okay. So itong number 2, like I said, hindi ito applicable dahil 2020 but of course, I'm just gonna give some brief information na nung 2020, you have to submit, like sa online yun, may questionnaire doon, so complete name mo, so that's your last name or surname, and then your first or given name, your date of birth, address, should be in Canada, okay?
Sorry, so, ito yung mag-i-sponsor, ano? Ito yung mag-i-sponsor.
Oh, yes. It is the sponsor's information first muna, i-discuss ko. So, as a sponsor, your address should be in Canada. So, when that opening, if you're outside Canada, you have to do your best to be in Canada and input your address in Canada. It should not be outside Canada. And number 1, important information, of course, your email address, kasi doon nila papadala yung invitation to apply. And then you can other question there, the country of birth, and of course your status in Canada. So aside from those information, walang ibang document kundi yung proof of status mo sa Canada. So could be Canadian citizen, permanent resident, so that's citizenship, passport, and then PR card, and of course the like Indian, and then you have to include the document number and attach copy of the document. That's the only document that we have to submit in the interest to sponsor. So with the sponsored parents and grandparents information, of course their full name, date of birth, and I think yung dalawa lang ang kailangan nila. So before sa 2020, may other questions pa doon na ilan kayong family members, ilan yung sponsoran mo, and it will show you the income. So which I prefer that way, kasi upfront pa lang, bago ka pa mag-click submit, may yes or no na na-met mo yung income. But in 2020, wala na. Kaya maraming nag-submit thinking na parang loto lang na you just buy the ticket without checking your eligibility. Kaya maraming nasasayang ng mga spot doon. So and the last, of course, your electronic signature and submit it online.
Gaano katagal? Ilang minuto para ma-submit nila yan pag na-fill up nila? 5 minutes? 10 minutes?
Mga 5 minutes lang kung ready mo na rin yung mga information documents mo.
I see. Alright. Okay, so sige. Papasok na siguro tayo sa number 3. Maliwanag naman. Who can be the sponsor? And who? The co-sponsor? So with this question, applicable na ito by the coming draw dahil as I mentioned, kung noon akala na nila na parang open na for parents and parents, dahil sa excitement they did not even check on the eligibility. So ngayon malalaman nila na hindi pala ako pwede. So una, of course, we have to wait to be invited to apply. So you cannot submit application without that letter that you
can now submit your permanent residency for your parents and of course the sponsorship application. So yun yung number 1, to be invited. Pangalawa, you must be at least 18 years old and older. Okay? So below, nasa ano din natin yan kung sino yung hindi pwede makasponsor. Yes. And then I mentioned a while ago, you must be a Canadian citizen or a permanent resident in Canada or a Indian registered under the Canadian Indian Act. Okay, and then the last but not the least is you must have enough income to support your family and then the persons you are sponsoring. So may tinatawag silang minimum necessary income or MNI na requirements. So yun yung mismong mostly na overlook ng iba.
I see. Palagay ko mamaya,
yes.
mamaya yung minimum necessary.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Alright. Paano naman yung co-sponsor? Anong kanyang requirement?
Okay. Yeah. This halos the same nung din ang requirements sa co-sponsor. So if
pag sinabi ba yung co-sponsor, asawa?
Oh yeah. Okay. So who can be the co-sponsor? I'm not sure sabi yan sa question natin, but sorry, yeah. So co-sponsor can your spouse, common law partner, and conjugal partner only. So hindi pwede yung kapitbahay mo, kapatid mo, or kung sino pa yung pwedeng gamitin mo as co-sponsor.
Oh, yeah, ang co-sponsor lumalabas lang yan sa application na siguro sa actual application. Kapag yung sponsor hindi kaya yung minimum necessary income siguro, no? Pero
tama.
Kung kaya naman, hindi kailangan ng co-sponsor, ano?
Yes, hindi na kailangan kasi yung co-sponsor mo, they can also sponsor their own grandparents.
Oy, I see. Nga, no? Tama nga.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Alright. Okay, nga, no? Dahil mag-asawa sa Pilipino, parehong may magulang pa sa Pilipinas, buhay pa, pwedeng dalawa pa lang. Alright. Pwedeng sponsor sila or mag-co-sponsor sila. Okay.
Yes.
Alright. So, papasok tayo. Kung merong pwedeng mag-sponsor, sino naman ang Canadian o PR na hindi pwedeng mag-sponsor? Question number 4.
Okay. Yeah. So, kanina, nabanggit ko yung pangalawa, which is the edad ng sponsor. So, if you are below 18 years old, hindi pwedeng maging sponsor. And you should be in Canada. So if you're outside Canada, you cannot sponsor or submit your interest to sponsor. So in case na nakasubmit ka dito ka sa Canada and then next year umalis ka nagbakasyon, okay lang yan. Okay? As long as upon submission and upon there's a decision of the permanent residency of your parents, you should be in Canada. Okay? And then if you are also a temporary resident in Canada, like visitor, workers, and students, you cannot sponsor parents. So, kaya minsan may mga terms sila na, gusto kong sponsoran yung parents ko, pero temporary pa ako. So, parang i-invite lang nila, right? Kasi once we mention the sponsorship, that's permanent residency. So, sometimes it's just gonna mix up with temporary na, parang sponsoran ko yung mama ko to visit me. So that's visitor visa, so which is a different topic. So yeah, you should be a Canadian citizen or permanent resident, like which is or kahit permanent resident ka but meron ng mga ineligibility. Yun na yung na-met mo yung maging PR above 18 years old, but number 1, if nasa jail ka, nakapreso, hindi yan po pwede. And may utang ka pa sa government like immigration loan, so pwede pala mag-utang sa Canada. Yes, may mga other applicants that they can loan like yung sa landing fee. Okay? And then merong hindi pa bayad sa performance bond or court ordered family support, like yung hindi nagbayad ng mga ng alimony. So you have to pay first. And also last year, for example, or years ago, if you sponsored someone but delinquent ka, hindi ka nagbayad sa dahil social assistance pala yung in-sponsoran mo, you have to pay back muna. Okay? Bago ka makapag-sponsor ulit. And if you declared bankruptcy, so you have to be discharged muna. And if you also receive social assistance, so social assistance, pwede ka kung naka-EI ka, but if like yung mga low income support. That's already a social assistance. So the only exemption is the disability. Okay.
Kumbaga mga kababayan, kung hindi mo kayang suportahan ang sarili mo dahil nasa social assistance ka, paano mo pa susuportahan yung ini-invite mong magulang, di ba?
Yes.
Alright,
Tama.
okay. So mga kababayan, tandaan nyo, ang topic natin, top 10 questions on parent-grandparent sponsorship. Papasok na po tayo dun sa pang-5. Who can be sponsored? Ayan na. Who can be sponsored?
Okay. So who can be sponsored? Yeah, dahil ang
parents at grandparents.
category na to is parents and grandparents. So you can only sponsor your parents and grandparents. So if your spouse wanted to sponsor their own parents and parents, they should be the one to submit their interest to sponsor. Okay? So hindi pa pwedeng ako yung sponsor para sa in-laws ko. Okay? So yung husband ko dapat ang maging sponsor. So if I am Canadian citizen and then yung husband ko is still temporary, nag-work pa, on process pa yung PR niya, so hindi siya pwedeng mag-submit ng interest to sponsor. Okay? Kasi siya yung sponsor, ako yung co-sponsor. So parents and parents could also like be related by blood or adoption. So if you adopted before, so sila yung parents mo. And yeah, kung may divorce or separation sa parents mo, you can sponsor both but separate application. So kung ang papa mo meron ng other family like common law partner, so that is a separate application. Kasama niya ng papa mo ang common law partner niya or new spouse. So yung mama mo, kung gusto din niya pumunta sa Canada, you can also sponsor your mom, but it's a separate application because they're no longer considered family.
So ganun pala, kung ikaw at divorce yung parents mo, pwedeng at partner na yung isa mong parent, pwede mo sponsoran yung isa, pwede mo. At pagdating sa Canada, dito na sila magsabong.
Yeah, very ganyan. Yeah, but of course we have to remember, which we're gonna discuss later on, the minimum income requirement, okay, because it will be added to the family size. And aside from the parents and parents, they can also include their dependent spouses, common law partner, and conjugal partner kung meron na silang ibang spouses or partner. And of course, if they have dependent children, so it could be as a sponsor, your brothers or sisters. It could also be your step siblings or half siblings. Okay, so they can be included in the application as dependent children.
Very interesting, ano? A good opportunity. So maliwanag mga kababayan, parents and grandparents, hindi parents-in-law, no?
Yes.
Alright, okay.
So that's good, yeah. So yung partner mo pa ibang sponsor. So aside from that, yung na-mention natin yung dependent children, which we could also discuss quickly about the lock-in age, right? Kasi I think I have 2 or 3 cases na kasama sa sponsored parents yung bunsong kapatid ng, of course, ang parents siya, kapatid ng sponsor, okay? So the lock-in age is the submitted the date the application has been submitted. So hindi yung the date the interest of sponsor has been submitted. So kung yung bunso niyong kapatid is mag 22 na by May 21st, na it will be too late dahil May 21st is the day of the invitation to apply. Yes. So wala pang application na isa-submit kasi maghintay ka pa ng invitation, right? So the application the age of the dependent child is locked in on the date of the submission of the application. Kaya habulin mo as soon as possible ang edad na 22 years old. Of course, yun na yung hindi na dependent. Okay, so it should be 21 years old and below. And of course, dahil kung kahit pa 18 years old pa yung kapatid mo pero may asawa na or may common law partner, they're no longer considered dependents.
So maliwanag pala na sa time na nag-apply ka ng interest to sponsor, ay pwedeng kasama yung isang dependent child 2 years, 3 years after ka nakatanggap ng invitation to apply, di ba? So pwedeng mawala na siya kasi nga Tama ba? Dahil ang lucky
Yes.
ay doon sa punto na nag-a-apply na kayo talaga ng sponsor, kumbaga na-invite.
Yes.
Hindi doon sa nagbigay ka pa lang ng, nag-express ka pa lang ng interest. I see. Oh.
Yes.
So marami
tama.
pa lang
Rovic.
pwedeng malaglag. Doon
Yes.
sa application mo, number one, yung
Oo.
medyo pumanaw na sa tagal na magulang mo, wala na interest, o kaya pag dependent naman ay na overage na. Alright,
Yes,
okay. Sige,
that's-
maliwanag. Okay, so, dadagdag ka pa bago tayo pumunta doon sa number 6?
Yeah, may idagdag lang ako konti dahil may mga cases kasi na, Joe, I want to sponsor my mom only. So sabi ko, saan pala yung papa mo? Nasa Pilipinas pa, may sakit, ayaw pumunta sa Canada dahil ayaw niya, dahil masaya na siya doon. So, yeah, that is possible na non-accompanying yung papa mo. Okay? But dahil family member siya ng mama mo, your father will be non-accompanying but will be should be also eligible and admissible. So yun nga, dahil ang reason mo is may sakit yung papa ko, baka masali tuloy yung mama ko na ma-refuse dahil may sakit yung papa ko. Sorry, kasama talagang papa mo sa medical, criminal check, background check. Of course, dahil may dependent children din, kasama din yun sila sa i-check for admissibility. So, hindi pwedeng dahil ayaw mo lang na isama yung mama mo or papa mo, or dahil may sakit sila or ayaw nila. Yeah, so they can be non-accompanying but they will be assessed for admissibility also.
I see. Okay, alright. Maliwanag. Oo, maliwanag. Oo. Okay, maliwanag yun. Okay.
Kaya parang damay-damay na. So,
Damay-damay.
kung may criminal record yung kapatid mo na hintayin mo lang munang 22 years old saka ka mag-submit para hindi na madamay yung parents na application mo.
Tama, oo. Okay, so kailangan talaga mga kababayan, pinakamaganda talaga sumangguni kayo sa isang RCIC kasi ang RCIC mabibigyan kayo ng magandang advice based na rin sa experience katulad nga nito, no? Yung damay-damay. Alright, okay. Very interesting. Pasok na tayo sa number 6. Ano naman, Jo, ang mga documents na dapat i-provide?
Okay. Yeah, so what documents to provide? So dalawa kasi yun, yung interest to sponsor, like yun yung sinubmit natin ng 2020, information lang yun, and isang document lang yung proof of status in Canada. But once we receive the invitation to apply, yun na yung permanent resident application. Kung nag-apply ka ng permanent residency noon, andun na yun napapila doon yung listahan mo kung ano yung kailangan mo i-submit, right? But yeah, nasa website yan. But of course, basic documents, yung basic identification documents mo,
Birth certificate.
of course, proof of your, yes, like, and of course, the relationship then. Proof of your relationship sa papa mo, o di kaya kung lolo't lola mo ang sponsoran. Okay, so, and yung sa income mo rin, na later on we will discuss about the notice of assessment and everything, and then immigration photo. So, mostly is basic lang din, but later on, kasi may tinatawag na mandatory documents, and later on they will request for more documents.
Alright, okay. Maliwanag naman yan. Lalo na sa mga kababayan natin na nagkaroon ng experience dahil nandito na nga sa
Yes.
Canada. More or less, alam na nila yung dapat nilang paghandaan. Alright, Joe. So, for example, ito naman ang tanong. Nasubmit na nila yung kanilang interest or through you, nasubmit mo na yung interest to sponsor. Ano ngayon ang next step? Ano ngayon ang gagawin nila?
Okay, so yeah, nung nag-submit na sila ng interest to sponsor in 2020, so it's just a matter to wait na ma-invite sila. So swerte sila na October 2020 yung submission, and then yung first draw was January 2021 na na-draw sila kaagad. Ay, kung hindi man sila na-draw, nag-draw na ulit nung September 2020, 2021, and then meron namang 22, 23. And then meron namang this month, May 2024, right? So it's just a matter to wait to be invited. So hindi yun first come first serve yun na una ako nag-submit ng interest to sponsor ko, ako na yung kasunod. Okay, so hindi yun. It will be randomly drawn, and hopefully nga last na ito na igagamitin nila ang 2020 pool so that others eligible to to sponsor can also submit their interest to sponsor. So it's just a matter to wait for now. And dahil naglabas na ang immigration IRCC last Friday na mag-draw sila, so you can be prepared by May 21 to check your inbox for 2 weeks yan.
Okay, so basta mga kababayan, huwag kayong mawala ng pag-asa. Ihanda nyo lang ang sarili nyo. Ayusin nyo yung income nyo na maayos para eligible kayo. And let us watch out for the next date kung kailan pwede mag-submit ng letter of sponsor. Ito pa. Kasi baka may dadagdag ka pa bago tayo pumasok sa number 8.
Okay. Yung nabanggit mo na mag-prepare na, di ba? So,
basta mag-intay sila. Patiently wait.
Sa inbox nila or sa spam. So, may cases din na hindi talaga nila tanggap. Nung nagsabit ka sa interest to sponsor, may automated email ka natanggap with confirmation number. Okay. So, by the end of the 2 weeks, mayroong button doon sa IRCC na mag-activate to check on your confirmation number kung na-miss mo man ang email mo or nasa spam na or baka nag-old na yung address mo, kaya tingnan mo yung confirmation number kung isa ka doon sa lucky sponsors for this year.
Alright, okay. So, papasok na tayo sa isang concern ng mga kababayan natin. Joe, magkano ba ang fees?
Okay, so in the submission of interest to sponsor, walang bayad yan. Submit mo lang yung nabanggit nating information and then your proof of status in Canada. But once you are invited to submit your sponsorship application, kailangan mong isali sa submission ang IRCC receipt. Okay, so in their website, there's other link there to pay the fees. So, starting April 30th, may mga changes sa nag-increase yung permanent residence fee. So, nung nag-start na ito ng $75 sponsorship fee, ngayon naging $85. And then, for the principal applicant, so, tanong, sino ba yung maging principal applicant? Kung sino yung mag-apply ng visa. So, kung dalawa mag-apply ng visa, yung papa mo at mama mo, dahil mag-asawa sila, pipili ka lang sa kanila kung sino gawin mong principal applicant. Okay? So, it doesn't need to be your father to be the principal applicant. It could be your mom. But for the principal applicant, the fee is $475. Sorry. Yun yung old pala. Okay? So, nag-increase na nung April 30th, $545 na. And then, meron din tinatawag na right of permanent residence fee or landing fee. Nagiging $575 na siya. And then, kung kasama yung dependent siblings mo, it is already $175 per dependent brother or sister. So, yun yung government fees. And of course, Rovic, kung i-hire mo si Sir Rovic to represent, nasa kanya na magkano, okay? So, every case is different na rin.
Wala pa rin yung biometrics fee.
Okay. Yeah, nasa kabilang page wala. Sorry naman. Yeah, that's a good question, Rovic, to discuss about the biometrics fee because a lot question arises with the biometrics. Joe, bakit ako pinabayad ulit? Nag-biometrics na yung mama ko. So, sa visitor application, for example, okay? So, noon, yung during 2020 up to last year, kung nag-biometrics ka sa temporary, like sa visitor worker and students, pag mag-apply ka ng permanent residency, hindi ka na ulit ng biometrics. But last year, June 2023, balik na kung nag-biometrics ka in your temporary application, mag-biometrics na naman ulit sa permanent residency application mo. Okay? So, yeah, it's valid for 10 years kasi yung temporary resident biometrics.
Okay. Maliwanag na kapag PR, another biometrics. Wala biometrics the past 10 years. Okay. Papasok na ba tayo doon sa isang concern nila ng mga kababayan natin, yung family size at saka yung tinasabi mo na minimum necessary income. Magkano ba ang kailangan ko sa bangko para maging qualified ako to sponsor? Ayan na, Joe.
Yeah, that's a very good question about, kasi ito talaga ang importante din, right? Na first to know, bago natin malaman ano yung kailangan na minimum necessary income or MNI, we have to calculate first the family size. Okay? So, example ko na lang yung own family ko. Of course, kung ako, hindi na pala pwede dahil hindi ko ma-sponsor mama ko, citizen na siya. So yung ko na lang, yung husband ko, dahil honestly, we've been in the pool since 2015 and we haven't been drawn. But bago draw lots, yung first come first serve paper submission, hindi pa sila interesado, kaya ngayon nagsabit na kami but never been lucky to be drawn. Okay, so yeah, so yung husband ko ang sponsor, ako yung co-sponsor kung kailangan niya ako sa income. Yung 3 naming anak, so 5 kami sa family, and then isama niya dagdag sa size ang nanay at tatay niya, so 7 na ang family size. But dahil wala siyang kapatid na 21 years old and below, so 7 lang ang family size. So we have to know, dahil ang family size din magdi-change, diba? So for example, 3 years ago, 2 pa lang yung anak namin, so 6 lang yung in that year ang i-calculate natin sa income. And then may isa din akong case na yung other parent niya is wala na, so by that year na namatay, hindi na kasama sa calculation. Okay, the family size, we have to go back to the past 3 years. So 2024 ngayon, so nung nag-submit ka ng 2020 sa interest to sponsor mo, you check your income in the past 3 years. So that's 2018, 2019, 2020. But ngayon dahil 2024 na, we have to go back on 2021, 22, 23. Kaya yun yung sinasabi ko na you have to check kung pasok ka pa rin sa income requirement. And dahil special yung taon ng 2020 dahil maraming na-layoff o nagsaado yung business, kaya dito na tayo sa minimum necessary income. Kung i-invite mo kasi yung parents mo for super visa, mayroong minimum necessary income din. Pero dahil permanent residency itong sponsorship, we have to add 30% of the minimum necessary income. So meron tayong table sa super visa kung ano yung income necessary. We have to add 30% on that. Kaya mas mataas ang income requirement dahil permanent residency na ito. So in 2020 and 2021, hindi natin dagdagan ng 30% kasi yun yung taon na medyo nahirapan halos lahat tayo, right, income-wise. But 2022 and 23, it is the minimum necessary income plus the 30%. So we could also like include a table or some links, kasi hindi natin maisa-isa dahil that is also based on the family size, kung ano yung income requirement.
Nakabukas ba yung table mo doon sa sinabi mo na 7? Doon sa 7
yes.
Family members. So magkano?
Okay, so sa 7, like sa akin, so sa 2021 I need to have 69,934
plus 30%
income. Sa 2021 kasi ito, so walang 30% ito.
Okay.
Oo. So sa 2022, my husband need to have 91,582. Kaya yung difference 69 to 91, malaki na ang jump dahil nga may 30% na ang 2022. And then sa 2023, it is 94,658. Okay, so from 91 naging 94. So that is for 7 people, and then you have to add, kung meron pang each additional person, you have to add at least 9,000 Canadian dollars.
So mga kababayan, huwag kayong mawalan ng pag-asa dahil yung sinabing 91 at 94, hindi lang isang tao yon, kaya nga kukuha ka ng co-sponsor. Abot na abot naman yun, palagay ko, kapag meron kang co-sponsor, yung 91 o 90,000, diba?
Yes, tama, Rovic. So kung i-sponsoran din ng spouse mo ang parents niya, mag-jack-in point na lang kayo kung sino mauna.
Hindi, alam mo, pwede naman eh. Kasi not necessarily naman kaagad na sabay silang mabigyan ng letter of invitation, di ba?
So yun lang din, na parang manigurado na lang kasi baka makatanggap kami or hindi, right?
True.
But just make sure na income is met.
So mga kababayan, itong question number 9 na to, itong minimum necessary income, maganda talaga sumangguni kayo sa isang RCIC. Okay, pwede na ba tayo pumasok doon sa number 10? Last question.
Okay, yeah. So, bago pala, sorry naman. Meron kasi may nagtatanong kasi na bakit kailangan nilang income? Bakit mas malaki? So, dahil grandparents, hindi na sila under the economic category. So, economically, di ba, yung mga worker students na makapag-work pa, at makapagtulong economically sa Canada. Kaya, mas malaki ang income natin na ipakita that we can support our parents. So may tinatawag na undertaking and sponsorship agreement, which we're gonna discuss on your question about what are considered income.
Okay, alright. So maganda. So last question na tayo mga kababayan, ang pinag-uusapan natin. Top 10 questions on parent-grandparent sponsorship. We are now on the top 10 questions. So, number 10, what are considered na income na pwede mo isama sa application mo? Yes.
Okay. So, a while ago na-mention na kung maraming pera sa bangko, kung ano dapat na sa pera sa bangko, right? But to sponsor, dahil permanent residency yan, we have the Immigration Canada wants to know na meron ka talagang pera, kasi baka tinago mo lang yung pera mo or di ka bigla na lang na lumaki yung pera mo overnight, right? So, ano yung document na kailangan nating isubmit to show that you have that income is the notice of assessment. Okay, so kung ayaw mong i-check ng IRCC directly to CRA, the Canada Revenue Agency, you have to submit the past 3 years of notice of assessment. But kung wala ka namang kailangang itago or something, you can just check yes that you give consent to IRCC, that they will contact directly to CRA to check your income. Okay, so sa income naman, yung notice of assessment, that is the document na matatanggap natin every year after we filed our tax. So I'm not really very good in taxes, dahil honestly ako very tamad ako sa tax. So meron din kasi kong own tax preparer, but I'm just gonna give you a brief discussion yung sa notice of assessment. If I'll just open mine, meron kasi yung page 2, kung makita mo na line 1,500. So line 1500, that is your total income. Okay, so that is your gross income, hindi pa kasali yung mga deduction. So yun yung babasihan sa income mo. So ano pala yung kasama doon sa line 1500 total income? Yun na yung mga kasama na yung mga benefits na tatanggap mo rin sa Government of Canada. So hindi lang kailangan yung T4 mo or yung sa self-employment or employment income mo, but that also can add yung other na mga benefits na tatanggap mo. Yes.
Okay. Alright, maliwanag na maliwanag. And of course, pati sa asawa mo, kung yun ay magiging co-sponsor, di ba?
Yes.
Yung kanyang notice of assessment. Alright.
Notice of assessment.
Okay.
Okay.
Ano pa? May dadagdag ka pa?
Yeah, mayroon lang kong idagdag kasi na yun nga, yung sa income na bakit kailangan natin malaking income, balikan natin yung undertaking. So, this is important to know dahil akala kasi sponsoran ko yung mama ko and then bahala na siya pagdating dito. Right? So, yung undertaking kasi, nasa application to sponsor form yan, pinirmahan mo yan. Okay? Now, within 20 years, suportahan mo yung parents mo and grandparents.
Yeah.
So, and then once they're in Canada, they also have to do their best not to seek for social assistance sa Canada. But kung siguro nakalimutan mo, bigla na nagperma yung papa mo, nag-apply ng social assistance,
sagot mo yun.
Kung eligible siya, bibigyan yun siya. Pero kung mag-sponsor ka na at makita nila na yung sponsoran mo noon nag-seek ng social assistance, you have to pay back to the government. Okay? So, kung meron din kasama yung kapatid mo, so, ang undertaking period mo sa kapatid mo, hindi 20 years, but until they reach the age of 25 years old. Yeah, pero kung 21 na sila, so that's only 3 years, right? Pero kung ang kapatid mo is 15 years old pa, so mataas-taas din na suportahan mo yung kapatid mo. So yun yung basic na needs nila sa Canada.
So kung sila ay mangungutang sa credit card, kasama kaya yun, mga social assistance, educational, dapat mong alam yon dahil baka ikaw ang sumagot nun at the end, no?
Yes, tama po.
But, yeah. Okay, good points. Napaka-detalyado at maliwanag, Joe, ang ating discussion dito sa top 10 questions on parent and grandparent sponsorship. Saan kanila pwedeng kontakin naman kung meron silang mga tanong, meron silang gustong isang guni papatulong sa'yo, hindi lang about grandparent sponsorship, kundi in all other immigration pathways. Saan kanila pwedeng kontakin, Joe?
Okay, thank you for asking that, Rovic. We can be reached at our phone number. I could give my phone number. 780-870-7458. Though we also have our landline number, 306-307-0806. But we could be best reached through email, which is clientsupport@canadaassist.ca. May iba kasi na nag-contact sa amin to our Facebook page, yung Messenger. I think mga 1 year ago na walang nag-maintain yan dahil na-busy lang yung staff. We focus on the important matters like the application. So, possibly this year may mag-maintain na yan. But kung mag-message kayo sa Messenger at walang mag-respond, just send us an email.
Anong company mo? What's the name of your company?
Okay, Canada Assist Immigration Services.
Napakaganda. Okay, so bago tayo mag-iwahiwalay mga kababayan, and Joe, ano yung parting words, last mga advice sa mga nakikinig?
Okay, again, Rovic, thank you so much for having me today. And to those na nakikinig, hopefully you got kahit isa or dalawa mga additional information na nakuha ninyo. And sa grandparents sponsorship, as a while ago, this is not like a lotto that you just have to submit your interest to sponsor and wait for to be invited. There are eligibility requirements. So you don't want to waste your time and money, and then you will just be refused dahil hindi eligible. So the same with the parents and parents as sponsored persons, then may mga eligibility requirements din sila. Right, yung medical criminal background check. So it's better na mag-seek muna, like kay Rovic, mga immigration consultants, to sit down and discuss about eligibility. And it's not only about being refused, but it could also be returned incomplete. So once we receive the invitation to apply between May 21st and 2 weeks span, meron tayong 60 days to submit our invitation, our application to sponsor. So 60 days yan. Kung maibalik yung application mo dahil may kulang na document at tapos na yung 60 days, na hintay ka na lang next year to submit yung interest to sponsor. Kasi
back to zero.
Yes, back to zero na sa application.
Okay.
Yes,
thank you so much. So mga kababayan, for all other information, one-on-one consultation, please contact Joe Balbiran Aban sa kanyang number na binigay. Thank you so much, Joe.
Thank you din, Rovic.
Good luck sa iyong business at saka sa pagtulong sa mga kababayan natin na mapapunta rito ang kanilang mga magulang. All right. So
maraming salamat.
Thank you so much. And that's a wrap. Thank you for watching ABC All About Canada, a public service program that informs, educates, and inspires our fellow kababayans based in Canada to bring their parents, grandparents here in Canada dahil ang Canadian government ay mayroong family reunification program. Take advantage of that. Once again, my name is Rovic Canono. I'm your host. Thank you for watching. I'll see you again.